March 6, 1940, Kala River, Finland. The temperature is minus 40 degrees. A farmer lies motionless in the snow. He has been here for 6 hours. He will remain for 6 more. Through iron sights, he watches a forest of white birch trees. Somewhere beyond them, 4,000 Soviet soldiers are advancing. He does not move. He does not breathe visibly. Even his exhales are measured, snow-packed in his mouth to hide the fog of his breath. Then, movement. A single shot echoes across the frozen wasteland, 500 meters away. A man falls. The farmer does not celebrate. He reloads. He waits. By the end of this 100-day war, this unassuming man will be credited with over 500 confirmed kills. The Soviet Red Army will call him Belaya Smrt, the White Death. And his story will become the deadliest legend in sniper history. His name was Simo Häyhä. Born December 17, 1905, in Rotjärvi, a small farming municipality in southern Finland, near the Russian border, he was described as friendly, mild-mannered, introverted, a man who kept to himself and worked the land. Nothing about him suggested destiny. Nothing except the rifle. The Finnish wilderness surrounding Rotjärvi was unforgiving, with brutal winters that demanded resilience. Simo became a naturally gifted hunter, spending his youth in the forest, shooting small game with a bolt-action rifle. It was survival, not sport. Precision, not passion. In 1925, at age 20, Häyhä was conscripted into the Finnish army for mandatory service. Within 1 year, he rose to the rank of corporal, an impressive feat for a quiet farm boy. He returned to civilian life. He farmed, he hunted. He lived simply, but 20 miles to the east, a colossus was stirring. November 30th, 1939, the Soviet Union declared war on Finland. The reasoning was geopolitical. Stalin wanted buffer zones, strategic territory, long-term leases on Finnish land. The Baltic states had already capitulated to Soviet demands. Finland refused. Stalin's response was overwhelming force. The Soviet Red Army marched into Finland with roughly 750,000 soldiers. While Finland's army numbered just 300,000, the Soviets had nearly 6,000 tanks and over 3,000 aircraft. Finland had a handful of tanks and barely more than 100 planes. The international press called it a foregone conclusion, a mismatch, a slaughter. No one expected Finland to survive, but the Finns had no intention of surrendering. Simo Häyhä, like many of his countrymen, was fiercely independent and valued his country's liberties above all else. When the call to arms came, he answered without hesitation. He was assigned to the 6th Company of Junior 34 on the Kala River, where Finnish forces faced both the Soviet 9th and 14th armies. At one point, there were only 32 Finns fighting against over 4,000 Soviets. The odds were impossible. The fight was not. Häyhä served as a sniper in temperatures ranging between minus 40 and minus 20 degrees Celsius. He dressed completely in white camouflage. Soviet troops, by contrast, were not issued winter camouflage for most of the war, making them easily visible against the snow. The Soviets were disorganized. They spoke many different languages. They were unprepared for the Finnish winter. Many came from warmer regions and lacked proper cold weather gear or training. The winter of 1939-40 was one of the harshest on record. Snow reached to meters deep in some areas. Frostbite claimed as many men as bullets, but for Simo Häyhä, the cold was an ally. He used a Finnish-modified Mosin-Nagant rifle with iron sights, no scope. Scopes could fog in freezing temperatures and reflect sunlight, revealing a sniper's position. He built snow piles for cover, becoming nearly invisible in his white camouflage. He even placed snow in his mouth to prevent his breath from giving away his location. Every detail mattered. Every movement was calculated. He would wait in position for hours, sometimes an entire day, without food or warmth. He lay in the snow, rifle steady, eyes unblinking, and then a target. One shot, one kill. He did not miss. Häyhä's kills were based on his own reporting, confirmed by his comrades. Only verified deaths were counted. If multiple snipers fired at the same target, the kill was not attributed to any individual. All of his sniper kills were accomplished in less than 100 days, an average of 5 per day. During a time of year with very few daylight hours, the Soviets began to whisper about him. An invisible killer, a ghost in the snow. Finnish propaganda amplified the legend, frequently featuring the invisible Finnish soldier in newspapers. Creating a hero of mythical proportions, he was nicknamed the magic shooter among Finns, and the White Death by the Soviets, though some sources suggest the nickname originated in Finnish propaganda rather than from the Red Army itself. Regardless of origin, the name fit. The Soviets feared Häyhä so much that they mounted numerous counter-sniper and artillery attacks to eliminate him. All failed. They sent their best marksmen to hunt him. He killed them to dot. By early March 1940, Häyhä's official tally had reached over 500 confirmed kills with his rifle. He had achieved approximately 200 additional kills as a squad leader using a Suomi M31 submachine gun. He had become the single most effective sniper in modern warfare. And then, 11 days before the war's end, fate found him. March 6, 1940, a Soviet soldier caught sight of him and fired. An explosive round struck Häyhä in the jaw. The projectile destroyed the lower left side of his face. Initially, he was believed dead and placed among a pile of corpses. Then a Finnish soldier noticed his leg twitching and realized Häyhä was still alive, albeit with half his face missing. He was evacuated. He fell into a coma. Rumors of his death spread throughout Finland and the Soviet Union for 11 days. The White Death lay silent. On March 13, 1940, the day the peace treaty was signed, Häyhä regained consciousness. Reading about his own death in a newspaper, he sent a letter to correct the misunderstanding. The war was over. Finland had survived. And Simo Häyhä had lived for approximately 25,000 square miles of territory. The Soviets paid a staggering price. Estimates of Soviet dead ranged from 130,000 to as high as 250,000. Finland, against all odds, had humiliated a superpower. Häyhä was promoted from corporal to second lieutenant during his hospital stay, a jump in rank unprecedented in Finnish military history. He received numerous awards and honors, but when the continuation war broke out in 1941, Häyhä requested permission to return to the front lines. His request was denied due to the severity of his facial injuries. He spent the rest of the war on the home front, tending to his farm. He could not return to his childhood home, and Rotjärvi now lay on the Soviet side of the border. He found a new home and lived a quiet, peaceful life. He hunted, he farmed, he avoided publicity. For decades, he did not speak of the war. Then, in the 1990s, historians and journalists began seeking him out. Between 1997 and 2002, military instructor Tapio Sarlinen interviewed Häyhä dozens of times. In a 1998 interview, when asked how he became such a good sniper, Häyhä replied simply, "Practice." In December 2001, shortly before his 96th birthday, Häyhä was asked if he felt remorse for killing so many people. He replied, "I did what I was told as well as I could. There would be no Finland unless everyone had done the same." Simo Häyhä died on April 1, 2002, at the age of 96, in a war veterans nursing home. He was buried in his hometown of Ruokolahti. His face bore the scars of war until the very end today. Military academies study his tactics. Snipers worldwide revere his name. The memoir he wrote in 1940, hidden for decades, was finally discovered in 2017, offering rare insight into his experiences during the Winter War. Metal bands have written songs about him. Books have chronicled his life. A feature film is now in production, but perhaps the most haunting tribute is this. In fewer than 100 days, his official score reached 505 kills, making him the most successful sniper in history. Not because he loved killing, but because he loved Finland more. March 6, 1940. A farmer lies motionless in the snow. The temperature is minus 40 degrees. Through iron sights, he has seen 500 men fall. Now, one final shot rings out, and this time, the White Death falls silent. But Finland does not, and that in the end was the only thing that mattered.